You know someone who has been doing a great job ever since he got to Houston? That is Nick Caserio. The man has been doing things behind the scenes that we would want because we are trying to save our franchise quarterback from leaving. We don't want to be a team of mediocrity. And Nick Caserio has done a very fantastic job, man. And I really think that he's going to be the man that rights the ship and brings his team a Lombardi. You know, let's look at what has happened. Before Nick Caserio was hired, Matt Eberflus declined the interview, Eric Bieniemy declined the interview, and now hope was lost, right? It looked like we were going to be stuck with Joe Brady, who I am fine with, and that was going to only be your option. But once Nick Caserio comes here, here's what happens. The Houston Texans interview Matt Eberflus. The Houston Texans interview Eric Bieniemy. The Houston Texans are trying to right the ship. We talked yesterday that they are trying to block Tim Kelly from interviewing with other teams because we know how highly Watson spoke about Tim Kelly, and Nick Caserio is doing a good job. He is doing a lot of damage control that was done by Cal and Jack Easterby, but what he's doing is a fantastic job. I don't think, how yesterday I was all like, oh man, I think Deshaun Watson's going to leave. I think that Nick Caserio is going to really right the ship and really fix it because he has a part in 6 championships over there in New England. He's had a high-profile quarterback. He's had a high-profile coach. He's had high-profile players like Randy Moss and Joe Cinco and Gronkowski. He knows how to deal with superstars. Deshaun Watson, we all know, is a superstar, and I have no doubt he's going to fix it. And I think here's how he's going to do it. First of all, I think he's going to give him his head coach. I think Eric Bieniemy is going to be the head coach of the Houston Texans. I think Nick Caserio is going to tell Tim Kelly, look, we want you to be here. You might not be the OC. You might be a passing games coordinator. You might be a quarterback's coach to further build your relationship with Deshaun Watson. Because if Tim Kelly stays here, if Tim Kelly remains the OC, we might see a lot of similarities what we have with the Texans offense last season. We don't want that. We want the Eric Bieniemy type of offense coming in to be a part of the Houston Texans organization, and that's what we want. So you give him your head coach, you give him Tim Kelly, and then what you got to do is you got to give him Will Fuller. You know how he spoke highly of Will Fuller. He said that Will Fuller would have been traded at the deadline. There would have been hell to pay. You guys know my feelings on Will Fuller. You know that I think we should let him go so that way we can spend a lot of the money on free agency that we would save with Will Fuller. I think you're going to have to bring him back. And if you notice, all these are not moves that I want to do, but all these moves are damage control. I wanted Robert Saleh. I wanted Tim Kelly to be gone. I didn't want Will Fuller to be on the Houston Texans. But now to save the franchise, to save the city of Houston from having a quarterback, you have to give Deshaun Watson these things. I know it sucks, right? There's this mindset that you signed your contract, shut up and play. That's not how it's happening anymore. Now these players are having a voice. Now these players have platforms to give them a voice. Could you imagine a Joe Montana if he had Twitter, if he had Facebook, if he had YouTube, if he had all this stuff? Could you imagine T.O. with Twitter? Could you imagine Ocho Cinco with Twitter? We know he's crazy now, but could you imagine how these athletes would have been with all the social media back then? That day and age of just shut up and play is not what's going on. And we as fans need to expect that. And that's why I think Nick Caserio is doing a fantastic job. Like I said, I do not think Deshaun Watson is going to leave. I think he is going to be a Houston Texan because of Nick Caserio. It's crazy how we try to get away from the Patriots system, but yet a Patriots GM is going to be keeping our franchise by keeping Deshaun Watson and making him happy. Now the question is do you guys agree with this? Do you guys think that Nick Caserio should do a lot of the things Deshaun Watson wants to keep him? Or do you think the Houston Texans should say, hey, look, you signed a contract. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to play here. You do your job, and I'll do mine. I don't know. I'm more leaning to let's make Deshaun happy. Let's give him what he wants, and then we could build this team together with his input. But let me know what you guys think. As always, go Texans. You guys have a blessed day.